Hi, welcome back. It's been ages. I hope everybody's going well. My name's Nikki and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Nikki Noodle Stitching. I'm coming to you live, or not quite live, but from a little place called Karangi in Australia, on the east coast of Australia. Yeah, so it's nice to be back. It's been ages, as I said. I've been busy stitching, but been busy doing lots of other things as well, work, being a mum, all the usual life stuff, but it's all going pretty well. So I've got lots to share, so let's get stuck in. I've been really focused on stitching smalls lately, and I do have quite a few that I have been stitching and FFOing, so there's a little pile here that I've got to show you. And I'm excited to share them with you. Hope you enjoy what I have. Right, so the very first thing I thought I would show you is, and this is a little bit unusual, this isn't cross stitch, but it is embroidery. This is actually called Japanese beaded embroidery. So you can see here, it's all very sparkly. You probably can't see the sparkle so much, but it's all little glass beads. And I did a class quite some time ago now, 18 months, 2 years perhaps, learning how to do the Japanese embroidery, beaded embroidery. So that was a full weekend class to make that little thing. So what it is, it's a little scissor fob. So you can put it on your scissors. So it's got a little weight in it. And the idea of a scissor fob, or so I was told, is so that if your scissors fall on the floor or go to fall on the floor, the weight of the scissor fob means that the scissor fob will hit the floor first and sort of break the fall of the scissors, so it minimizes the amount of damage that your scissors will suffer, I guess. That's what I was told. I don't know how true that is, but anyway, so this little thing has got a 50-cent piece inside it. So if ever you break into my house and you need to make a phone call somewhere, there's 50 cents inside. And I've actually got two. I did buy a second one. So this one's blue, pretty blues, and this one's green. So I did this one during the class and then this one when I came home. So I've got two. So they're cute. So I just thought I'd show you those. I can't remember if I'd shown you those before. I don't think I have. Anyway. Okay, so I've been stitching smalls and FFOing, fully finishing objects, FFOs. I've been fully finishing some things. This is one little thing that I stitched quite some time ago. This is a luminous fibre arts chart that was initially released as a fundraiser for a family member of Misty's. I think this one's called the Berry Gatherer, Gathering Berries, something like that. And I think there's now a series of these which are all very, very sweet. So I stitched this one some time ago and I never knew how to finish it, but I had this red fabric with a white dot that I thought looked really cute on it. So that's how I finished it, and I've just stuck a few little pins in there that Kathy gave to me, my friend Kathy Purdon. So that's that one. And I stitched this one using sulky, a nice sulky thread. So, and that's a 36 count natural linen. So that's that one. This one, I don't know if I've fully finished this one just yet. I've been thinking I might add something to it. It looks a little bit plain, I think. But this is off the Prairie Schooler Santa Rides chart. I stitched this one, I think, before Christmas last year. Hadn't finished him, so I just had some red ticking that I put him on, and I thought maybe some, I don't know, some pom-poms or something. I don't know yet, but that's where he's up to. So it's an NQ FFO, not quite fully finished object. That's him. Santa's cute. And the other thing I did on this one, I used the call for grey and red and white on his beard and the tree, but these stars and things were supposed to be in a yellow, and I just thought white looked better on that colour linen. which is a water green, a 40 count water green from Zweigart, which I understand they're not making anymore. Bummer. I like that colour. Right. The next little one I made, I did a little cute. I'm quite happy with this little finish. This is a freebie from Wendy at Pineberry Lane. And it just says ho 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 1887, and it's a funny primitive little Santa. He's very cute. So I stitched him ages ago, a couple of years ago, and I never quite knew how to finish it, but I had a little bit of inspiration last night, I think it was yesterday afternoon. I thought that's how I'll do it. So I just made him into a little pillow first, and then I attached a little bit of Lady Dot Dirty Face lace, that one is called, and some little rusty bells that I had, and a little bit of twine. So that's that one, and I think that was really cute, and just some quilter's cotton on the back. So that's that one. And I've been stuffing these with wool roving, R-O-V-I-N-G. So it's just raw wool. I bought a great big bag for Aussie shoppers. I bought this great big bag of wool roving from Indigo Inspirations, and they're in northern New South Wales. And yet I found this little shop on Etsy, and this was a 1 kilo bag, and it's got a ton in it, and I have used it to stuff quite a few little pillows the last little while, so it's going to last a long time. So a really great Etsy store, really fast to dispatch, got here really quickly, so that was great. The other thing that I've been really into, other than smalls, is bunnies. I've been stitching all the bunnies. I'm channeling Melly Ellie stitches. So I hopped on Etsy one day and I found all the cute bunny patterns, and this was another one that I stitched. This is called a tisket, a tasket, eggs for my basket. Now I meant to look up who this was by, and I forgot to. So I can't quite remember, but I'll put it in the description box. So, and that's that little one. And I just thought he was so cute with his little cottontail and his little basket. And I put that blue quilter's cotton on the back and some Lady Dot trim in the colour Vintage. So, and I just hand stitched that down. I didn't glue it. So I thought he was very cute. Now that linen, that is a 32 count decrepit from Nicola at Number 12 Stitch Co, which I just love that linen. It's got just blotches of grey and brown and yellowy browns, and just fun, something a bit different. Bunnies. Now, the last time I made a video, I said to everybody, when I finish, which one was it? Lucy Calcutt, I was going to reward myself with a subscription to the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitchin magazine. Well, I haven't finished Lucy, but I couldn't wait, so I did buy myself a subscription, and I love it. There are so many charts in that magazine that I would like to stitch. So I subscribe to get all of the back issues digitally. So I've had a lot of fun going through each of those magazines and pulling out pictures of the things that I'd like to stitch. But one I couldn't wait, and it was this little one. And now this was called Spring Etching, I think. Sorry, I haven't written any notes today, so, but that's how this one has turned out. I can't remember what the called for colours were. I just pulled something that I had from my stash, and I used Weeks Flatfish for the bunny and Red Pear for the flowers. And then I was just scratching through my button jar, I guess you'd call it, and I found the really cute little love heart, little pink love heart that was almost the same colour as Red Pear. So I put that on there. And that's what I put on the back. Just a pretty quilter's cotton, just the little scrap that I had. And that's that. Now that linen, I believe, was a scrap of 36 count Ren from Picture This Plus. Hopefully I've remembered all of the linens that I've used. Now, excuse me, I'm going to have a little drink. I've got a tickle. Okay, now, I don't know, Jules Darling on Instagram, she put a post up on her Instagram, a story on her Instagram feed for the Winter Cross Stitch Camp that was hosted by Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitcher. I think that's her channel. And Jules was going to stitch this little piece, Love Never Fails, from the Primitive Hair, and it was a little freebie. So I thought that's a great little piece. So I stitched it too. I made so many errors with this. All of this end of the chart is all off, completely off. I don't know how I managed to do it, but it didn't matter. I just fudged it. I had to fudge down here and fudge up here and fudge all around. But I thought that was quite cute. And the back of this one is a piece of felted wool. And that's the front. And I stuffed this one using walnut shells. I was able to stuff this one fairly firm with the walnut shells, so it looks quite good. But I am really liking, this one was the wool roving. And you know, when you use polyfill, it's very light, it's very soft, whereas the wool roving just gives it a little bit more weight. So this one's not as light as something that's got fibre fill in it, and it's quite firm. So I really am enjoying it, the wool roving. So that's those ones. That linen, I think that is a scrap of 40 count, maybe platinum. Yeah, I think it's platinum, that one. Just from Zweigart. Okay, the next thing I'll show you is a little finish that I did. This, I think, is called the Summer Berries Pin Keep, and this comes from a black, I didn't pull the book, I couldn't find it, but this comes from the Agnes Platt Strawberry Sampler book from Blackbird, and it is just finished as a little pin keep with a beaded edge in that book. So I stitched it and I thought, how am I going to finish it? I was initially going to put it on this smaller spool, but I don't know, I must have been drinking or something that night because I didn't measure properly and it wouldn't fit. So I thought, uh-oh. And I really didn't want to go and pick out nun stitch and redo nun stitch and all of that sort of stuff. So thankfully, I had another spool, this little red one, which I thought looks quite nice. So that's how I finished it, just with nun stitch and some eyelets in the back. And I just used 6 strands of a coordinating cream colour to lace it back on the back and did a little bow. And that's that. So that's going to just sit on my little shelf and look quite cute. That linen is a scrap of 40 count cream from Zweigart. Really pretty colour. And again, I think I used most of the called for, but I didn't have the right blue for the urn, the vase. I think it called for something that was really quite grey, but I liked the picture in the booklet that was quite blue, so that's what I used, a blue. And I think also it has specialty stitches. I think it's supposed to have satin stitch in the urn, but I didn't like how they looked, so I just did cross stitches. I think there are some satin stitches in this one, in this little flower here, and some little eyelets. So that was a nice little piece. I think that took me a day to stitch, maybe two evenings or something. So pretty quick. Another little pillow. This is, I think I've got I'll just tell you who this is by. So this is a pattern called Trio of Hearts by Country Rustic Primitives. So this is a little set that comes as 3 separate charts. And this was the first one. I also stitched this one using a sulky. And I stitched it on, again, another little scrap of 40 count. I think, yeah, I think it's platinum, or it might be summer khaki. And I put some felted wool on the back. You see cat hair on it? Yeah, there is. There's cat hair on it, like there is on everything in my house. And that's that, but I thought that was really sweet too. And again, it's quite a primitive little design, so I'm not sure if I'm going to put a trim or something dangling off it. I don't know yet. So it might not be quite finished either. That's that one. I didn't bring the chart. This is another one I just finished. I absolutely love stitching this little piece. This is, it's not Purple Bird, the chart is called Yellow Bird from La Di Da. I've always really thought that was the sweetest chart. And then I was going through my stash of weeks one day and I came across a thread called Concord. And it's this colour. This is Concord. And I just loved it. It's just such a beautiful variegated purple. I don't know if the camera's picking up how variegated it really is, but in real life it's quite variegated. It goes from a deep violet to a real plummy purple. It was just really pretty. And I've since learned that Concord is a variety of grape in North America. Maybe it's named after that. I don't know. But that's Yellow Bird, stitched in Concord from Weeks Dye Works. That was the fabric I put on the back. That is just a little scrap of quilter's cotton, stuffed with the wool roving, and I thought it was very sweet. And that is looks like a piece of leftover or scrap of 40 count flax from Zweigart. What you doing, Bob? What you doing, girl? No, hello. She wants to go out, of course. I'm just thinking, will I jump up and let her out and not pause the camera? Maybe. Talk amongst yourselves. You want to go outside? Out you go. Back. Okay, next thing, another bunny. This one was another one that I ummed and ahed about stitching because I wasn't sure I had the skills to finish it. But this is Sweet Pea, again from La Di Da. Love La Di Da. Excuse me. Why have I got a tickle? So that's Sweet Pea. Now Betsy Klager, Flosstube, and on Instagram, she's been stitching these cute bunnies. There's 3 La Di Da bunnies. There's Sweet Pea, there's Francis, and there's Sampler Hair. So Betsy invested in the charts and she's been stitching them up. And so has Ryan. Ryan, who is Rai Magai on Flosstube. A new Flosstuber. I think he's released 3 episodes already, which is great. So go and check him out. He's a lot of fun. So that's the bunny. That's Sweet Pea. Anyway, so I stitched her up and I finished her into a little bunny stand-up. So this is Sweet Pea. I'm pretty happy with how she turned out. She was stitched on a 32 count decrepit linen from number 12 Stitch Co. And that's her. I have to admit, I didn't really follow the instructions that were given on the chart. I just had I thought I've made a lot of fabric dolls in my time, and I just thought there was an easier way than how she explained it. So I just used my own little technique. It's supposed to have a row of cross stitches around the join. I didn't do that. I just thought the join was neat enough. I used a spare piece of decrepit linen on the back rather than a quilter's cotton. Now Bonnie wants to come back in. And the cutest little tail, not really a bunny tail, true pom-pom tail, but very cute. And that was made just using pulling some strands of linen off the edge of the fabric. So that was that. So very cute. I was very happy with her. Sweet pea. And then I thought she was hungry. She looked hungry to me. So I made her some carrots. So this was using the little freebie chart from Christina at Whilst Iris Naps. You can go and download the freebie from her website. And so that's what I did. I stitched that up. So that was very cute. And amazingly, I had all of the called for, I think it was Weeks Dye Works. So I stitched that one up. That took a little, that border's no joke. But it's very cute, very cute. And then I just used some felted wool on the back, some cute orange, and a Lady Dot chenille trim in the colour Algae. So that's that one. So that's been a lot of smalls there. So they've been a lot of fun. I have got more going, but I'll show you as I go. There's one other thing that I did attempt to fully finish. It's a temporary fully finish. This was a piece that I stitched, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I was never really thrilled with the finish, but I sort of thought it's coming up to Easter and I'm loving bunnies, so I need to do something with it. So this is a chart from With Thy Needle and Thread. I think it's called Peter and Peep. And this was just a frame that I had in the cupboard. It's not a custom frame, it's just a daggy frame that I had in the drawer. It's got glass on it, horrendously glary. It's not big enough for the piece, but for now it's okay. It means I can just display it. I stitched it on, it looks like a 16 count off-white Ada. I think that's what it is. This was before I discovered that there was such a thing as hand-dyed or various coloured even cross-stitch fabrics. So, but he's cute, isn't he? I think this guy's cute. Anyway, so that's that one. Look, I haven't even finished the back. That's just how I lace it. Just all laced and stuck in there. So I might splurge on a frame one day, but not just at the moment. I've got some other things I'd prefer to put the money and the effort into custom framing. So that's that. So today, I'm not going to have sections today. You know how I normally do, most people normally do. What have I been stitching on? And then you go on to haul and all that. Mine's all sort of mixed up together because it has been a while since I filmed. It's been about 6 weeks. So I've just sort of put it all in together. I hope that's okay. I'm sure you won't care anyway. So I've been and again, this is not in any particular order. I've just been stitching on whatever has been calling to me, and mostly it's just been small things. But earlier in the month, when it was, you know, not long since my last Flosstube, I was still stitching on my samplers, and they hadn't been calling me, so that's why I went to the smalls. They were, but now the samplers are starting to call me again. There's a few in particular that have been calling me, so I think I'm going to move back to samplers now. Well, other things, other bigger pieces rather than the smalls. So the first thing this is a new start that I've made, and I haven't got a cover picture because I still have been working from home, although that's now changed. We're back in the office 1 day a week. So that's been good, so I can access the colour printer. But this one I haven't got a cover photo. Okay, sorry about that. Pets. First one I started, this is Rebecca Rabbit from Kathy Barrick. If I show you show you the chart over here, and I'll just swipe it across so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is what she's going to look like. She's a great big bunny. Good luck to you if you can read off that chart. And this is my enormous star. So that's the little plant pot with the R on it, and that's Rebecca's front foot. And that's as much as I've done. I'm stitching this one on a piece of 40 count spun sugar from Jay's X Stitch. And I believe I am using my own conversion of threads because I think it calls for some silken colours. I didn't have any of those, but I did want a variegated look to the bunny. So I chose galvanized, which is this one. It's a really nice mix of greys. And I actually had two skeins that were quite different in dye lot, but I just combined them. So you can see I've got the two cards there just to remind me that I've got two different dye lots together. But I sort of figured once you pull from all different threads in there and stitch it, you won't really notice that it's from two different dye lots. That'll do. Now the other colour that, it's mainly DMC, it calls for DMC or NPIs, but I didn't have the NPIs, the correct NPIs for this either. So I'm trying to stitch from stash a little bit. So the red I decided to use is Classic Colourworks Campfire. So if I show you those together, I wanted quite an orangey red, so Campfire did it, and the galvanized. So that's Rebecca, and she's going to be sweet. But that bunny, there's a lot of stitches in that bunny. That's why I needed the two skeins of galvanized, not just one. Okay. Now the next one that I'm going to show you is one that I've had. My mum gave me this many years ago, and it's a hindsight chart called Frogs. Now I just love frogs. Frogs are, I just think they're the cutest, funniest, just the best little animals. I love frogs, and we've got tons of frogs here at the moment. We've had so much rain this summer. I've seen nothing like it before, how much rain we've had. And as a matter of fact, there have been some really horrendous floods, not terribly far from where we live. Basically, some entire towns have been flooded. There's one in the northern rivers of New South Wales. So I'm in New South Wales, which is on the east coast of Australia. And the northern rivers are towns that occur, as the name suggests, on some fairly major river systems. And one town in the northern rivers is called Lismore, and they experienced what they're now referring to as a 1 in 3,500 year flood. So basically their whole town, on the lower lying parts of the town, were flooded. And there's 2,000 homes have been condemned effectively. So those people who live in those 2,000 homes no longer have a place to live. And not only that, but most of their jobs have gone as well, because the town, the central business district of the town and a lot of the industrial areas of the town also flooded. And it was such a huge flood that those buildings, those offices, they were destroyed. So it's just one big demolition area. So it's pretty full on, and I feel really quite sad for those families and those businesses. But anyway, that's an aside really from my frog chart. But okay, so here's my frog chart from hindsight, I don't know how to say that. And I have, as I said, I've had it in my stash for a long time, and it even came with the cute little charms. And these are 4 or 5 little frog charms. I don't know why I haven't stitched this before, but now's the time. So Can you see that? How can I show you this? Little froggy. So there's all 5 little different frog charms. And they're a bit tarnished, I think, because it's been in my stash for so long. So that's what I'm going to stitch. And look, this is how little it's going to be. This is a 28 count Perman linen. I think it's lamb's wool. It's very stiff, but it's nice to stitch on. So it's only going to be out to about there. I have got extra, just got it folded because it's a scrap. So that's that one. And the colour I'm using for this one is Weeks Monkey Grass. And it's a really nice variegated green, which I thought was very much like our tree frogs that we get in Australia. We get lots of different tree frogs. Many of them are that vibrant green, a combination of greens. It's World Frog Day today. There you go. Okay, so that's frogs. Next one is this is a stitch along for Laura Duet. Laura the Serial Starter. This is Elizabeth Isles from the Scarlet Letter. As you know, I've decided not to stitch the words. I'm just going to pull the border up to here. This is another one that I really enjoyed stitching, but then I realized I'd made some really big mistakes and it's been in timeout ever since. So I've really got to go back and check where I'm up to. So this is where I'm up to. So I've put the border in. I had to unpick this whole section of border because I'm fudging it. I fudged incorrectly. I made a mistake and then had to pull it out. And now I think this whole blue vase, urn, whatever it is, may also be in the wrong spot. I miscounted. So potentially I have to unpick all of that. So I'm not really in the mood to do that. But it's looking really nice. I like how it's going to be square. That was a bit of a beast to work out how to do that border, how to bring it out. But anyway, it's done now. So I'll just keep working on that one. Another new start and a bit of haul as well. So this, I just fell in love with this when I saw it on Carolyn from A Stitch in Time, which is a cross stitch or an embroidery store in Hobart in Tasmania, the little island at the bottom of the mainland of Australia, all forms part of Australia. Anyway, Carolyn has her own Flosstube and it's called Tassie Stitches. So I was watching her one day and she showed this beautiful chart. It's a Santa, as you can tell, and it's from Cottage Garden Samplings. So I saw that and I just thought I'm going to stitch that. So I ordered it and it came very quickly from Carolyn. Again, I didn't have some of the called for threads. It's predominantly calls for DMC, but there's 2 colors in there that I think it calls for Gentle Arts threads. And I actually did have the red, but my particular skein of that thread was too pink. So I decided to swap it out and stitch it with Cranberry, which is still quite a pink red, but I thought it was quite a nice match for Santa's coat. And then the green, I didn't have the called for green, which is Bayberry, or I might have it, but it's in with another project and I didn't want to steal it, so I just thought I'll choose something else. And I ended up going with Weeks Cypress. So they're the 2 colors I ended up choosing, and I've only made a fairly small start. So that's Santa's coat. You can see the start of a reindeer in there and some of the little doodads. So that's that one. And I'm stitching that. It's only going to be quite little, but that's okay. I quite like that. This is a scrap piece of 40 count wren. This was the leftover bit of fabric from when I stitched Blackbird's Merrily Merrily We Welcome Spring. So that's that one. So again, that's that one. And now I have also been stitching on this one, Abby Bella Stitch. She's hosting the Stitch Along hashtag Stitch Asia. Now the lady Vinnie Tan, I think, I apologise if I've pronounced your name incorrectly, but I understand that Vinnie is of Asian heritage. I'm not sure which country she originates from or where her heritage lies, but I just thought I would stitch that for Stitch Asia. So go and check out Abby Bella Stitch. If you don't watch her Flosstubes, they're fun, a lot of fun. And she has such a huge variety of projects that she loves to stitch on. For her Stitch Asia piece, she's doing something that she's designed herself. And I reckon there must be a million eyelets in that piece. So good on you, Abby. Zip. Right, one that is screaming at me, stitch me, this is All Creatures Great and Small from Barbara Anna. This is where I'm up to. So you can see I've put in lots of the scaffolding. So I've been jumping around a bit on this one now, which is a lot of fun because I love stitching some of those animals. What have I got? Piggies. It's so cute. And a little bee and a little beehive and a cow with a bird on his back. I did backstitch around that little guy because you couldn't see him, he was in white. I don't know what this is. Don't know. And this little house. What else is on there? Oh, I make so many mistakes. This tree here, the filled in part of this tree is the wrong colour. I don't think anyone would know other than me, so I think I might leave it. And then there's my little house that I added on. And the little tree and the little fisherman down there with the cat down here is cute. So I'm loving stitching that one, but yes, it's calling me. That is stitched on a 40 count Silvery Moon from Nicola at Number 12 Stitch Co. Beautiful linen, beautiful colour. So that's that one. Now, I did stitch at the beginning of the month, the first weekend of the month, the BBD, what's it called? Stitch Along? The Blackbird Weekend Stitch Along that is hosted by Brenda and Laura. Sorry, I'm not with it very well today, am I? Anyway, so I pulled this piece out to stitch that weekend. And as you can read yourself, it's called the Strawberry Fields Forever piece. And I've loved this forever. And one day it was calling my name and I thought I'm going to have a stitch on that. So I pulled it out and this is what I got to. So this is a piece of coveted Winter Brew from R&R. And I say coveted because it's just so hard to get in Australia. Very hard to get. But it's such a beautiful colour. I do love it very much. So, and look at the gate. Look at the stitches in the gate. So pretty. I love this piece. Again, this one's calling me. So that's that one. And I'm using all of the called for threads, which are just beautiful. Of course they are, because they're Blackbird colours. So all of these beautiful reds and greens and browns and greys. So really, really pretty. That's that one. I want to get back to that one. It's a common saying, isn't it, on Flosstube? That's that guy. The next one I've been working on is Coffee Quaker. And this was a chart that Betsy gave to me for Christmas. I'm stitching this one on a piece of 36 count, what is it called? Salted Caramel from number 12 Stitch Co. And this, the fabric Betsy also gave to me for Christmas, along with most of the threads for the chart. So that's where I'm up to. This is really fun. This is the first Quaker style sampler piece that I've ever stitched. So that's a lot of fun. I'll show you a picture of the chart. It's a chart by Heartstring Samplery, Beth Twist. And that's it. So Coffee Quaker. What does it say? First I drink the coffee, then I do the things. She knows me well. So that's that one. So that's a very enjoyable stitch. And that is in a bag that Betsy gave me for Christmas. Again, made by the lovely Nicola at number 12 Stitch Co. And again, I'm using most of the called for threads. As I said, Betsy gave me most of them. But the one, I think there was the green in it. I think it was called guacamole or something. I can't quite remember. But I didn't have it, so I just subbed in avocado from Classic Colour Works, which appears to be about the same colour. So that's what I'm using. Okay. Now another new start. Haven't I been naughty? Well, not really. I don't think it's naughty because I've finished most of my new starts, all the little smally things. This is, you've probably seen me show this one before. This is a chart by Pineberry Lane called Cats and Jacks. And I just thought that was the sweetest little chart. That's called Bittersweet. This little one here. So I started it just one day last week, actually, at lunchtime on a work day. I just started that, and this is on a little scrap of, I think this might also be Salted Caramel from number 12 Stitch Co. It's a 40 count, this one. Isn't she cute? So that's how big she is. So that's going to be the full row of flowers across here. And then she's got a little bird in here, and a little bit of back stitching and some French knots. I don't like French knots. I'm like Ellen Reed. I don't like French knots. So I'm not going to do French knots. Instead, I went and I found some little coppery coloured glass beads that are quite small. So I thought I'd use those as the flowers in here. So that's what I'll use instead of doing French knots. Some of you might say that beads are even more annoying than French knots, but I don't mind putting beads on. There's only a few. Oh, and on the other side of that piece of fabric, I have got another finished object, and this is called Blue Bell Snickle from Not Forgotten Farm, and I just think he's so cool. See if I can find the chart here somewhere. No, I don't know what I did with it. Oh well, you can see what he looks like anyway because I've stitched him. Now the only colour I changed was the beard. The called for colour was like a yellowy white, and I thought, well, he's smoking a pipe, so maybe a yellowy coloured beard is appropriate. You know how to get the yellow? Anyway, so I subbed it out to white. I think it might be 3865 I used, which is an off-white, not quite as bright, but he's cute. I really love him. So I'm thinking that I'd like quite a chunky black frame for this guy. He's got black in his pipe and his shoes. I think that would look really quite fun. So, but you know, there's always that dilemma, isn't there, about, you know, do I really want to get a custom frame for a Christmas piece that won't be out all year? Or maybe I'll just leave him up all year. That's the solution to that. I'd be happy with that. Okay, a few more to go. It's been a while. I think it's been about how long's it been? 6-7 weeks since I did my last video. So yeah. Next one I have been working on is Nantucket Broom Ride, which is also a Not Forgotten Farm chart. Oh, won't come out. So it's this one. It's a pretty horrible picture. Now some people have said they don't understand this chart because the little town is upside down here and there's a witch riding a whale. But what I think the picture means is that the witch is going for a wild ride on the whale. So the whale is sort of going upside down, whee! And so it's actually like that. So the town is here, right way up, but the witch and the whale are upside down because they're having a wild ride on the waves. Is my interpretation what you think too? Anyway, I just think he's really cute. Anything with the whale's cute. Look at his teeth. I'll show you the teeth on mine. I've started stitching the whale. Look at his teeth. So fun. I may have to do some backstitch around the waves because you can't really see those. I think backstitch would be okay. I'll probably just use the same sort of colour as in the whale to do it rather than a stark colour. So that's what I'm thinking there. This is stitched on a spare piece, a little scrappy piece of Rain Cloud from number 12 Stitch Co. And again, it's a beautiful linen. It's got some nice mottling on it. Oh, isn't that pretty? So that's that one. Loving that one. So many great things. Oh, and have you noticed there's nothing from Market? Nothing. So not for I've been looking at all of the Instagram posts and all of the things that have been shown on Flosstube, but I think I pre-ordered the Blackbird charts, and there's also a chart called Moggy Manor, and I think that's from the Blue Flower. I just fell in love with that chart, Moggy Manor, because it's got cats on it, and I love kitty cats. I love all animals, but it's got kitty cats on it. So they're the only things that I pre-ordered, and I haven't received any of those yet. That's it. I've been very, very well behaved. There are some charts that I absolutely just fell head over heels in love with. But I've been good enough. I've resisted buying them. But I tell you what is hard to resist are Leela Studios little bunny rabbits in all different vehicles. The little carrot car, and they are so cute. So I'm very tempted to get those. And it's sort of going along with my little bunny obsession. Anyway, maybe. Now, the next thing that I've been stitching on is this little piece. This is a stitch, and again, I haven't looked it up, but this is a piece that was designed specifically for a stitching with solidarity, in solidarity with Ukraine. So this has got a lot of symbology in it, including the color selection. I will put in the drop down box below, I will put a link to where you can get this freebie chart. And in the link, once you get to the destination, it will tell you all about what the different colors mean, the different shapes. It'll also tell you about, maybe we can all stitch something like this, or any other design by a Ukrainian designer, or a piece that's been designed elsewhere but is raising funds, or just raising awareness and letting the Ukrainian people know that we're thinking of them, that we hope this war ends very, very soon. It's just silly. Why can't we all just get along? But anyway, so this is my little start. This has been my car stitching piece. So anywhere we drive somewhere, I'm passengering, I'll have a stitch on this. So that's the edge here. So I've just got to do this all around. That little red thread there just tells me that's the top because it's the same every direction. So that's just so I got my stitches all in the same direction. And I'm stitching this on a piece of, I think it's a 16 or it might even be an 18 count Ada. That was in a grab bag from Jay's X Stitch on Etsy. So that's that one. And I'm using Kathy, my mate Kathy, her really sweet little pouch that she gave me for Christmas as my little glove box holder thing. So loving that. Okay, got a few things to do. That's okay. Next thing I've been working on, another new start. Well, this was a new start in January, and this is the denim band sampler. So Kathy, who I keep referring to, Kathy Taz Purdon on Instagram, her and I are doing this together along with lots of other stitches. Kathy's chosen to do hers in a red thread, whereas I've chosen blue. The called for colour is an Aversoir silk. I didn't want to buy an Aversoir silk for this, so I just chose my most favourite DMC blue, and it is DMC 930. So that's that one. But it is so nice, and this is I believe it's a 25 or a 28 count linen band, and it's stitched 1/1. And at first I thought, ooh, that's going to be really hard, but it is so fun. It is so fun. So I'm almost up to date. This, I believe, is the bottom of week, this might be week 8 or 9, and we're up to week 10. So it only takes me sort of one evening, maybe 2 evenings to do the week's allocation. So you get a little strip of the chart once a week, it comes via an email, and that's it. And it looks so pretty, the little bands, and I really do love it. I'm really enjoying it. So that's a lot of fun. Now this is the next thing I'm going to show you is another sampler that has really been yelling at me to stitch it. And I'm really enjoying working on it. And it's one I've had on the go for quite some time, and it's time that I had a finish, I think. So this is from Whilst Ira Snaps. It's called Emily Harbin 1824. So it's just this beautiful chart. I'm stitching mine on a piece of number 12 Stitch Co. Rain Cloud. And that's where I'm up to. So I ignored Christina's called for threads, and instead I chose my own 2 silks. So the green is a Gloriana silk in the colour Forest, and I just love that colour. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's a beautiful thread colour. It's got greens and a brighter green and browns. You can see it on that Greek key strip there, the variegation in that, and the crowns, beautiful. And the goldy colour thread is a water lilies, a Karen water lilies in the colour Old Gold, I think. Is it Old Gold? Yep. So Old Gold. So that's it. There's a ton of silk on here, but I'm just picking, and you might be able to see that it's got some browner strands and some more yellow. So I've just been trying to pull out the more yellow ones to get the more gold appearance. So that's that one. So, and there's a few specialty stitches in this one. Let me see if I can show you. This here is 4-sided stitch, and that was a load of fun to do. I'm almost across here with this little 4-sided stitch band. That was a lot of fun to do. They're just cross stitch, and here are eyelets. These are Algerian eyelets, so 8-legged. Well, I heard Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery call them Did he call them lazy eyelets? Because they've only got 8 legs, not 16. So they're quicker. So that's those guys. That's a lot of fun. It's really pretty. It's quite slow going, but that's okay. And then all down here is cross stitch. So that's Emily, and I think she's just beautiful. So I'll keep chipping away at her. I don't know when she'll be finished. Doesn't matter when she's finished. I'm just enjoying stitching her when I work on her. Okay, so that's the last 6 weeks or so. That's what I've been stitching on. Pretty much, anyway. So, I do have just 3 little teeny tiny bits of haul that I will show you. I already spoke about Ukraine and that little piece I'm stitching. I've also been keeping my eye out for some charts from Ukrainian designers just to give them a little bit of extra income. Although I know it's hard for them to access, you know, things like groceries and, you know, but they need money, don't you? Even if you're a refugee, you need money in the country that you've gone to. So anyway, I've just been trying to support some Ukrainian stitches, and this is one that I have, a little chart that I have printed. This comes from Living on the Rainbow, a little shop on Etsy, and I just thought it was so cute. It's a letter for Santa, and it's just finished into a little flat piece. It's got, like you can see here, it's got like the little postage stamp, and it's got Santa here, and he's stitched his beard stitched in fluffy stuff from Rainbow Gallery. So I have ordered some of that to stitch him because I just think he's so cute. It doesn't have a picture, but on the back of this, the reverse side is stitched like the shape of an envelope and a little postmark as well. I just thought it was so cute. So that's that one, Living on the Rainbow. It just doesn't seem right, does it? Ukraine, living on the rainbow. Yeah. Certainly not paradise there at the moment. I don't think I've shown you this chart before. This is a crochet-a-go-go. Crocetta-a-go-go. I don't know how to speak Italian. I believe it's Italian. So this is a little chart that I bought from Daisy Chain Stitchery, and it's a Christmas chart, and I just thought it was very cute. You could do it all as one piece. You could, I was intending to just stitch little individual ornaments. So very sweet, some reindeer, a reindeer and some birds and Santa hat and Christmas trees. So I've been enjoying Christmas stitching. And then lastly, I bought Miss Martha's potting shed from Kathy Barrick. And I thought that was very sweet as well. And she's not very big. Calls for NPIs, but there's a DMC conversion, so I'll just stitch in the DMCs. I have no plans to start that anytime soon, but she's in my stash just in case I'd like to. Plans. This is a cute little chart that I did get. I also got this from a Stitch in Time in Hobart, I think. Did I? I think that's where I got it from. I just thought that was really cute. But there's so many colours in this chart. Let me count them. There's a ton. So I think I might just substitute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 colours in that. And it's only 55 by 58 stitches. That's a lot of colours for a little chart. But it's cute. Very cute. And that's that one. I've got 2 of the colours. I think I ordered these at the same time as I bought the chart. Maybe I didn't get it from Stitch in Time. Sorry, ladies. But they are two of my favourite shops. Stitch in Time in Hobart and Daisy Chain Stitchery. Love them both. I have been watching quite a bit of Flosstube. So much that, you know, all of my usual Flosstubers, I've watched and rewatched many of their videos. So I sort of went and I had a little look to see who else I could watch. And there were a couple of ladies who stitch mirabilia charts, and I just thought, you know, it's all entertainment. I love cross stitching. I can listen to people talk about stitching and fabric and thread and scissors and all the accessories anytime. So I watched a couple of mirabilia stitches, and there are a couple that I've really enjoyed. They're not just mirabilia, but you know, a lot of mirabilias and some other, or some are full coverage and lots of different things. And there's a couple that I would like to suggest you go and have a look at if you're interested in that sort of stitching. One is Needleberry Stitcher, and her name is Catherine. She's fantastic. She's got some really beautiful projects. She did a mirabilia parade of all of her charts. She's got every mirabilia chart that's ever been released, and there are some really pretty charts, and the beads and all the bling. It's very pretty. It's not really my style, but I really did enjoy watching her videos. And the second one I've been watching is Fibre Arts Amy. And Amy is similar to Catherine. She loves mirabilias. She's got some absolutely spectacular completed mirabilia pieces on her wall behind where she does her floss tubes. Just amazing. The fabrics that she has chosen, oh, I just love. It's just so impressive. It's, as I said, it's not really sort of my preferred style of stitching, but I certainly appreciate the work and the creativity, and they're just really beautiful. So go and have a sticky beak. She has, watching both of those ladies has made me sort of think, well, I do have a couple of mirabilias and I should pull them out and stitch on. And so I have shown this one in the past. Excuse me, I'm just going to reach over here. And I have kitted this up, and Trixie Tricycle, Jodie, she has been stitching on a mirabilia. So we have been talking about getting cracking on the mirabilias that we do have. So I've got this one. This is called the Feather Fairy. So I kitted it up quite some time ago. So I have pulled it out and put in about 4 stitches. So that's the start of it. So not a very big start, but it is a start. And of course, mirabilias generally use a lot of blended threads. So that's mainly blended threads, but I don't mind doing that. It's 2 threads over 2, and this is a 32 count natural linen from Zweigart. And then I now do have a second mirabilia that I'm starting to kit up, and because I love all things Christmas, I bought this one from a friend who was selling it, and this is called Winter White Santa, and I think he's so beautiful. So I'm kitting him up. There's a lot of threads in this one, as they're all in all mirabilias. There's just some of them. Look at those pretty colours. So I've just got to get some fabric to stitch him on. Then I can make a start. Oh, and I've got to get the beads and the treasures and everything else. Oh, I know someone else that seems to really love stitching mirabilias is Lisa, Kindred Stitcher. She's got some beautiful mirabilias that she started and finished over the years as well. So this is turning into a long video. Now, the other thing I did want to show you is, I think I've shown you this before. So this is Hannah Hetherington. I've always loved this, and I've always loved the big sampler here with the blues. So I had a splurge and I ordered the Dinky Dye silks for this piece, and I ordered them from a Stitch in Time in Hobart from Carolyn. She placed a special order for me, and they finally came in, and oh boy, they're beautiful. I haven't started this one yet. This might be a birthday start in June. But I'll see if I can show you. I've decided I'm going to use this piece of XJU Designs linen, 40 count, in the colour light nougat. And there's the colours, the called for colours for Hannah Hetherington. They're pretty. Look at the blues. This one, so beautiful. So I understand Dinky Dyes used to be owned by an Australian, hence that's why a lot of the names have Australian themes. So let me have a look. What's this one? Oh, that's dark chocolate. That's international. Charcoal, cocoa bean, that's all international. Maybe not. Evergreen. Cottesloe, that's a beach in Victoria. Dreamtime, they're our Indigenous people's stories and beliefs. Dreamtime. Kakadu National Park in Northern Territory. So that's where those names come from. A lot of them, not all of them. So yeah, and Dinky Dye. Dinky Dye is very much an Australian term as well. Dinky Dye Aussie. True Aussie. Anyway, now I'm just carrying on. Now, the very last thing I was going to show you today is some amazing stitchy kindness that I received. I was contacted by a lady whose name is Deb, and she said, I've bought 2 charts twice. Could I please send them to you? Would you like them to stitch on or use as a giveaway? And I said, oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. So she sent the parcel and I picked it up from the post office, and when I received the parcel I thought, there's no way this is just 2 charts. It's got lots more in it than 2 charts. So she was Deb, you were very, very, very generous, and I'm very grateful. Now, one of the highlights, Easter eggs, because who doesn't just love chocolate? You see, they're not even open yet. That's incredible. I'll show you the charts. This is one. This is from the Sampler Company. What's this one called? And All the Blackbirds Singing. I hadn't seen this one before, but I love it. Look at that house. A teal house. Love it. Now, Deb not only sent me the chart for that, but she sent me all of the threads. So that's just, thank you, Deb. Honestly, that's just so lovely. Now the next thing, this is the other chart that she sent to me, and I've often admired this one and thought, oh, that's so beautiful. That big house and the sheep. And it's called A Shepherd's Song from Plum Street Samplers. And now this is big. I didn't think it was so big, but it's, let me read it. It's 285 wide by 178 stitches high. So that's big. And there's quite the thread list on this as well. That's that one. So it's lovely. But that wasn't all. She sent me some beautiful cottage garden threads. These are another Australian hand-dyed thread people. Canada lily, isn't that pretty? That would be so pretty on a red sampler. And those other two. I think Laurie Holt showed some of these in her recent video. They've changed their little cardboard tags now. They've sort of modernised them a little bit, but same things. And some really lovely things from where Deb lives. Postcards and a sticker, a bumper sticker, are a lot of fun. Some more stickers, pets, dogs and kitty cats. I love this one, a guinea pig. I love guinea pigs. A really sweet note. She also sent me a fat quarter of Dove from Weeks Dye Works. I haven't ever seen that in the flesh before, but that is a beautiful colour. It's like a greeny grey. It's just gorgeous. Thank you, Deb. And last but certainly not least, she sent me a full hank of Silks For You silk in this beautiful red. She knows it's my favourite colour. The number is PR034. So I should take it out of the packet. It's just beautiful. Another red sampler. Oh, sorry for the crinkling. I do just want to show you the colour. Look, isn't that glorious? Could wear this as a necklace. Or a cowl in winter time. Okay, so people, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed what I've shown. It's gone a little long, but I guess that's to be expected given it's been a while since I filmed. So take care, look after yourselves. I'll continue to think about all of the people in the Ukraine and hope that peace comes about sooner rather than later. In this day and age, it's just, I can't get my head wrapped around it, that a country can invade and go to war and be so brutal and all those things. I just can't comprehend it, really. I can't comprehend how those people in the Ukraine must be feeling right now. It's devastating. So anyway, I'll be back soon. Keep stitching. I hope you're all really well, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.